On behalf of the people of Vietnam, Chào Đông, and welcome. The potential for business opportunities in Vietnam has exploded. Please join us now for a brief introduction to the country and the advantages that it offers for international business. In size, the country of Vietnam is larger than Italy and comparable to Germany. Mainland Vietnam has coastlines that exceed 2,100 miles, which is longer than the coastline between San Diego and Seattle, and does not include the 3,000 islands scattered off its coast. The country is divided into three regions: North, Central, and South. Hanoi is located in northern Vietnam and serves as the nation's capital. There are 5 major metropolitan centers in Vietnam, including Hanoi, Da Nang, and Ho Chi Minh City, formerly known as Saigon. The country is strategically located geographically as the gateway into the greater Mekong region, and includes Vietnam as well as Cambodia, Laos, Thailand, and southern China. The entire region comprises a zone of over 200 million consumers. The natural wonders of the country are limitless. Surrounded by coastlines, vast hills, and tropical forests, Vietnam offers breathtaking scenery that lures millions of tourists each year. Vietnam has abundant natural resources and is an exporter of coffee, rice, peppercorn, crude oil, and fish products. There are approximately 89 million people in Vietnam, which makes it the 13th most populated country in the world. The Vietnamese culture is rich in diversity and has influences from China, Indonesia, Cambodia, France, and Russia. The primary language is Vietnamese. However, a great majority of citizens also speak English and French. English is required in most schools. Current demographics reveal a primarily young, hard-working population that is growing at a consistent rate of an additional 1 million people per year. With its extremely low wages and strategic location, Vietnam is rapidly becoming the low-cost manufacturing center of all Asia. Although a single-party country, it is more politically moderate than China and has adapted very quickly to a market economy. The people of Vietnam are rapidly becoming major consumers and producers of global goods and services. Since the Vietnam War, the country has transformed itself from its traditional agricultural roots into a truly contemporary, thriving society, eager to take its place on the global stage. Vietnam is positioned to become the next Asian tiger in the global economy. Its economic growth rate has been among the highest in the world in the past 10 years. Approximately 10,000 licensed foreign investment projects have started in Vietnam, totaling over 99 billion US. Vietnam's foreign policy is that of openness and diversification. It has established diplomatic relations with over 170 countries and holds membership in 63 international organizations, including the United Nations, the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, and the World Trade Organization. Vietnam has signed multilateral and bilateral trade agreements with over 80 countries worldwide. Over the years, there has been a steady decline in state-owned enterprises and an increase in foreign and non-state domestic sectors. According to some economists, 11 countries are positioned with the greatest potential for future growth. These are the 3G countries and include China, India, Indonesia, and Vietnam. The 3G index, which measures each country on 6 key factors that drive growth, ranks Vietnam as number 1, ahead of both China and India. Vietnam has experienced consistent growth in gross domestic product, or GDP, for over 10 years. It has an expected GDP of 7% for 2011 and is expected to outpace both Malaysia and Indonesia. In an effort to incentivize and stimulate domestic and international business, the government has provided several tax incentives. A lower business income tax is available in certain industries like education, healthcare, infrastructural development, and computer software manufacturing. Import duties, as well as the value-added tax on equipment, materials, and means of transportation for infrastructure projects have been made exempt. Special import and export tax reductions are applied with countries such as China, Japan, Korea, New Zealand, Australia, and India. Extended land lease permits and grants are available for development in lower socioeconomic regions of the country. Vietnam has also reduced personal income taxes in recent years to stimulate domestic consumerism. The infrastructure of Vietnam is well established. Since starting its economic reform movement of Doi Moi in 1975, Vietnam has jettisoned at a rapid rate toward an efficient market economy. Project 30 is a master plan devised by the government to simplify administrative procedures. Its aim is to reduce administrative processes by 30% and increase communication across all levels. Recently, the government created a comprehensive online catalog of administrative forms in an effort to standardize and simplify business practices. Availability of documents on the Internet illustrates Vietnam's emphasis on transparency and alignment with the World Trade Organization agreements. A comprehensive network of electricity and transmission systems has been achieved that includes both hydroelectricity and thermoelectricity. Irrigation systems have been upgraded in regions to increase agricultural productivity. As for transportation, Vietnam operates 17 major civil airports, including 3 international gateways. This will increase to 10 international airports by the year 2015. In 2009, Vietnam and Japan signed a deal to build a high-speed railway in excess of 1,000 miles, which will help reduce travel time between Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh City at a maximum speed of 220 miles per hour. Vietnam expects to spend about $7 billion in infrastructural developments this year alone. As of 2005, over 11,000 miles of highway and over 2,000 miles of railroad have been built, and the total capacity of ports has been increased by 880 million tons. Vietnam is keenly aware of the importance of environmental factors and has focused efforts on sustainability projects. It is a member of the Kyoto Protocol and the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. Climate change considerations have been incorporated within existing policy and planning processes, including the use of incentives for companies who promote conservation and decrease carbon footprinting activities. Over $12 billion in projects have been identified addressing rural infrastructure modification, urban planning, energy efficiency, and clean production. Among projects in development are those focusing on energy production using alternative sources of power, such as wind, water, and solar energies. The Solar Water Heating System program for Ho Chi Minh City hopes to install water heating systems within 22 provinces of southeast Vietnam and the Mekong River Delta. Hydroelectric, solar, and thermal power plants have also been developed to sustain the growing needs of a rapidly growing economy. Industrial parks are multiplying and expanding all over the country. They include not only commercial buildings, but also residential complexes, public parks, and restaurants to create a true community for work, life, and play. Multiple consultant companies have also developed to help investors establish themselves in Vietnam. Companies such as Star Corporate Vietnam help expedite and process applications to establish new businesses as well as purchase real estate or acquire land grants. Manufacturing and high-tech industries are a large part of a fast-growing economy. Vietnam has traditionally been a leading world exporter in several commodities, including rice, crude oil, and coffee. Currently, the top 4 industries are manufacturing and processing, real estate, tourism, and construction. The manufacturing and processing industry includes textiles, footwear, electronics, computers, electric cables, plastics, and leather. Major companies from all over the globe have opened factories in Vietnam to take advantage of its low wages and tax incentives. Despite some economic downturn in the real estate sector, secondary homes have been a boom in business. Luxury vacation homes, condominiums, and villas continue to sell for well over $500,000 and are in high demand. This also includes the ongoing development of industrial parks throughout the country. By 2020, tourism revenue will equal over $18 billion. The tourism industry is very strong in Vietnam and is projected to become a top 10 vacation destination by year 2016. The country's tourism industry enjoyed great success in 2010. Vietnam travel achieved a record of 5 million foreign arrivals last year, an increase of almost 35% from 2009. This year, visitors has increased by 12 to 15% thus far compared to the same growth period in 2010. Construction continues to be a major industry. The country's infrastructure is ever expanding to keep pace with demands made by a growing economy. Skyscrapers have changed the landscape of the once agrarian countryside into the modern metropolitan centers of industry and commerce. The people of Vietnam are known for their positive attitude and incredible work ethic. Currently, 47 million people are of working age. Among 30 developing countries surveyed, Vietnam has the highest employment rate at 91.3%. Vietnam offers lower wages compared to its neighbor China, and a savings of up to 40% depending on the industry. The labor force is predicted to grow by almost 500,000 each year for the next 10 years, bringing the total number to 57 million by 2020. Vocational training schools train more than 1.5 million workers every year. Under the National Labor Market Development Strategy, the country hopes to acquire 58.5% of skilled workers in its workforce by 2020. The literacy rate is one of the highest in Asia at over 92%. Vietnam recognizes the importance of education and scientific innovation as key factors that led to the successes of Korea and Taiwan. Major high-tech firms and universities from developed countries have established training programs and teaching institutions in cooperation with the Vietnamese government. Among these include universities from Australia, Germany, and Korea. Trade and technical schools have also developed to meet the tremendous demand for a technically educated workforce. Vietnam has also advanced greatly in specialized areas such as robotics and telecommunications. The use of cell phones, mobile services, and the internet has skyrocketed in recent years, and the number of students enrolling in IT specialties has also grown. Computer manufacturing, robotics, and IT support are quickly becoming leader industries in Vietnam. Vietnam is an industrious country on the brink of making a major global impact. The economy is booming and opportunities abound in all industries. The Vietnamese government has an open policy towards direct foreign investments and has made significant progress towards making business transactions as simple as possible. Great tax incentives are available for companies wishing to establish themselves in our country, and our infrastructure is solid. In 2009, the nominal GDP exceeded $92 billion. At this rate, the Vietnamese economy is targeted to become the 17th largest economy in the world by 2025. According to the forecast by PricewaterhouseCoopers, Vietnam may be the fastest growing of all emerging economies today. Vietnam is a land of great natural resources and diversity. It's a land built on entrepreneurial spirit with enormous growth potential. Manufacturing, real estate development, marketing, information technology, and education are only a few of the industries that are flourishing in Vietnam. We welcome you to partake in all that Vietnam has to offer, and we invite you to consider Vietnam as your next destination for financial success. Make Vietnam your land of opportunity today.